What's up, everybody? Happy Sunday, and welcome to a new episode of Open Letters to a Survivor. I am your moderator, James. I have the lovely ladies here. We have Kisanda, we have K Love, and we have Lady Poet. How you ladies doing tonight?
Wonderful.
Good.
All right. Well, let's just go ahead and kick things off. I'm gonna push it off to Lady Poet and take it away.
Hey, thank you everybody for tuning in. So as you may not have already, if you've been on our page, you know what this month is. So we are actually starting off the month of October. This is Survivor Stories Month. So you're going to be in for a great treat and some great stories on survival to let people know if they survived, you can survive too. So we have an awesome, amazing guest. I'm going to because our moderator actually invited this person and told me about them and got him on the show. I'm going to let him introduce our guest for tonight. He ain't know that. I just sprung it on him. So you might see him look a little shocked. But before we do that, I am going to turn it over, as always, to Cassandra for our letter. Now, remember, everybody, though, the letters are for us, the show is for you. So the letters are the advice that we've either told ourselves or we're giving to you because we've actually told ourselves this in the past. So sometimes those letters are beneficial to us and the show is beneficial to you. So take it away, Cassandra.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome again to Open Letters to a Survivor. We're going to go ahead and get started with just that, our letter. Whew. Dear Survivor, have you ever heard the statement, silence is golden? As with any other statement, I suppose in some specific situations, this is but as survivors, nothing can be further from the truth, especially when it comes to sharing your story. Silencing your voice is often how many abusers try to take control over you, emotionally, physically, spiritually, or even financially. This is when silence can be the literal or actual death of you. We here at Open Letters to a Survivor will not and do not stand for the silence voice in these instances. We plead for you to not do so as well. If you feel as though you're in a situation right now where your silence is a safe haven at this time, we urge you to do what's necessary for your safety, or to feel free to reach out to us with support, or even to reach out to the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233. Even if you're thinking, I'm not in a domestic violence situation, call and let them guide and provide you with additional supports. You are worth letting go of your silence and the reason behind it. You are worth living and living a life of your dreams, not just dreaming about life. Your voice matters. You matter, and you deserve to be heard. We are here with you and for you. Take care and be well as you elevate along your healing journey. Sincerely, Lady Pearl Speaks, K Love, the entire team of Open Letters to the Survivor. Today's guest, Dr. Boyd A. Cassandra.
Thank you. We always say yes when those letters are done. So thank you so much for always touching us with those letters. So now, without further ado, we turn it over to our moderator, James, to introduce today's speaker.
So this is actually exciting. I'm actually glad to introduce the guest. He has become a great friend. He's done a number of my platforms before. So, of course, me knowing his story and his story of survival, along with everything else that he has endured in his lifetime, I knew that he would be perfect for the show. But of course, I wanted to, just talk to you, Lady Poet, about it or about him. and kind of get your thoughts and see if you thought that he would be good for the show. So, I mean, obviously you thought that he would be great. And, put him in contact with you, put you in contact with him, and you two did all the work. So don't put it on me. Don't make it look like I did nothing. You did it all. So without further ado, I want to introduce this week's guest. Once again, a great friend of mine, and we're glad to have him. So help us to welcome Marcus Boyd to the show.
Yay! Woo!
How's everybody doing?
How
How are you, sir?
How are you?
How are y'all doing? I'm good. I'm blessed, and I'm thankful to be on y'all amazing platform.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Absolutely.
thank you.
Well, I'm just a fly on the wall. I may chime in a little bit here and there, but the ladies, they got it all wrapped up. They got a great show in store for you, for everyone tonight. So I'll let them go and take it away.
Okay, thank you so much for that. So I'm going to jump right into our questions today because this is an awesome guest, and y'all don't want to miss any of his amazing stories. So I'm going to go into the first question. The first question is, tell us about yourself and your story.
Well, my name is Marcus Leonardo Boyd. I'm 41 years old. My birthday's in January, so I guess I'm Aquarius. My favorite color is blue, and I was born in Atlanta, Georgia, raised between Atlanta, Georgia, and Brooklyn, New York. And my story is simply I have autism. I was nonverbal until I was almost 14 years old. I started speaking at a 2-year-old's level, and I didn't start speaking like I do now until I was almost 18. 11 different doctors in 2 different states said basically the left side of my brain doesn't function correctly as a normal child would, and that I will basically be brain dead and a walking vegetable. But if my grandmother would allow them to do experimental tests or what they call brand new insightful discoveries and allow me to be on these mood changing medications, which then it was like, well, if we put him on 150 200 milligrams of Ritalin, then his mood will stabilize and you can he will listen to you more if he's on Ritalin or whatever. But that's just the beginning of the story. I will say before I go on, for anybody that's listening or may watch this story, if it's this is a trigger warning. If it triggers you for listening to this story, please don't listen to it. Don't I'm not trying to trigger nobody or whatever, but some of the stuff that I may say may be triggering for some people.
Thank you for putting out that disclaimer.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Wait, he gotta finish. We want to finish a little bit more of his story. He was going to get into.
Okay, go
Well,
right ahead.
my story, I've been in like 17 group homes and 17 foster homes, 16 mental institutions, 4 inpatient centers. I was homeless when I was 7. And but I've been telling my story for years now. But I think a lot of people what don't know is like my survival really started because it wasn't just with the family abuse. I'm from the projects, so people getting abused by their families or whatever that seemed normal because we was low impoverished and we was in poverty, and what I'm saying, we didn't really have much. So my cousins got abused by their parents. It was normal family dysfunction, if you will. But when I was 10 and my best friend Tony unfortunately got murdered in front of my face, and when his head got blowed off in front of my face, I was 10. He was about to be 11. So we was in Brooklyn, New York, and then to go from that to moving to Atlanta, and dealing with new environment, new scenes, or whatever. And because the school felt like I was an endangerment to the IEP class that I was in, to the special education class I was in, I was endangerment to the other students. It was only 3 other students in there, but I was endangerment to the other students that was in the class. So they put me in the mental institution. So that was my first take of, being in, Georgia Regional at the time, which was on Briarcliff, but now they done changed the whole situation. Then they put me in GMHI, and stuff of that nature. I'm calling out old stuff because I'm old Atlanta. So when they put me in those situations and I refused to take pills, or if I didn't take pills orally, they give you shots in your buttocks or whatever have you. And then if you refuse that or whatever, 5 or 6 people come in there and they're coming with those long cords and machines and stuff, and they'll give you a treatment which is called electrical shock therapy, which they don't even do no more. But back then, because I'm 41, so back then that's what some of the treatments and some of the services that some of these hospitals was doing to these patients. I mean, and then that's 10 years old, okay? So and then I am in a new environment, and I get molested in a mental hospital by young Caucasian boys. And then I leave that hospital, go to another hospital. So I'm done with the hospital situation. I'm 12 now. Then at 12, I'm thinking I'm going to be in a good environment because my grandmother, my biological grandmother got me. My sisters are helping me. So I'm thinking I'm in a good environment. And then my grandmother's 2 sons decide, because they can't have women of their own, they get upset with me and blame their divorces on me because I'm nonverbal and I'm rocking, I'm using a bathroom on myself, I'm having sensory issues and everything else. And they felt like because their mother asked them to pick me up on Fridays because she went to bingo, old school stuff. She went to bingo and they were supposed to watch me, but because they couldn't have the females that they wanted while they was watching me, they made me become what they couldn't have. So, for 4 years, from 12 to 16, they brutally raped me. Not with their private parts, but with broom handles, with mop handles, with any object that went in my rectum. And I had to fellatio these guys and from swallowing and everything else. And these are my blood uncles. You understand? So, again, the story is deep. We don't have that much time.
Whew. Um, well, first of all, I want to say you are amazing. You are amazing because you are able to share your story, still have passion and compassion, and you survived. All that was done to you throughout your childhood and even in probably moving forward into your adult life. So to me, I commend you because you're a hero. You survived and you're able to tell your story, which is going to help somebody else, and that's what we're all about. So with that being said, tell us why you think it's so important for people to openly share their stories.
I tell my queen and I tell my best friends all the time that everybody has at least 2 or 3 movies in them. If we focus on, our trials and tribulations, what God blessed us to come from, or
Mhm.
maybe going through, or maybe still going through. See, everybody has a book in them, but I say everybody has 2 or 3 movies in them. So there's a bunch of independent filmmakers and stuff of that nature. Do you know that if we took the time and really put our pain, our past hurt into a movie, it's not even about being financially rewarded for your story. This is about helping millions of people with your story, because
Yeah.
you can touch so many lives. There's so many biopics that's out. There's so many true stories based on a true story, movies that's out. Why can't your tribulation be based on a true story? Why can't your tribulation be a biopic? Why do we have to watch somebody else's story when we have our own? See, this is why I gotta stop talking, because it sounds like I'm preaching.
Look, we like the preaching on this show, okay? So
Right.
we a little churchy too, so that's perfectly. But yes, I feel like in actually K Love and even Cassandra and I talk about that all the time. That yes, certain things in our lives should be a movie, because I'm telling you, the way you could laugh through your pain sometimes could be the strength for somebody else. So I think that everybody has a movie in them. So thank you for that. And so, what are some steps we can take as a community so that men know more about resources and options to take to protect themselves after trauma?
You- as far as men are concerned, every man is different. Every man moves in an individuality, different type of situation. This is probably one of my few times publicly talking about um the rape and the molestation that I experienced from my uncles. And again, you have to understand that one of them was a sheriff and another one was a caterer. So, because they told me stuff like, it's your fault I got divorced. It's your fault that my kids got taken away from me. If we didn't have to watch you because you the R word, or you because you nobody wants you, nobody's supposed to love you or support you, nobody's going to do none of that. You was a mistake to this family. So when you hear stuff like that as a child, a lot of times hurt people. You understand what I'm saying? When you hurt as a child, you grow up, that's the first thing you want to do, is you want to get revenge on anything moving because you was hurt, you was violated. You understand? You understand what I'm saying? So as men, we are taught we don't cry. We supposed to have pride. We supposed to be strong. We supposed to be shields to protect our loved ones, our woman spouse, our friends or whatever. So emotions in men, we are taught that to be weak, because in the projects you gotta show strength. You gotta show a different type of character when you're growing up amongst wolves. You understand what I'm saying? You can't be a sheep when you're growing up amongst wolves. You understand what I'm saying? So you have to move in a different way. We just have to get comfortable enough to say it's okay. That don't make us weak. That don't make us vulnerable. But it's okay to be vulnerable. We men. We still men.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yes. Totally agree with you. Can you tell us, what are you doing to stay in your healing process?
I thank God for people like my queen, my spouse, my best friends. I thank God for meditation. I thank God, because I ain't gonna lie. A lot of times it's hard for me to sleep. A lot of times I wake up early. I can go to bed at 1 in the morning, and I'm up at 3 in the morning. I don't go back to sleep, period. Because it's a lot of nightmares. It's a lot of stuff that goes on within my childhood that I still have nightmares about. So it's hard for me to sleep. And what I realized is, for me, music has become my saving grace. When I was in band, concert, marching band, and stuff like that, music didn't tell me I couldn't sit next to it. Music didn't tell me because I slobbed on myself or I yelled or I had sensory issues that I couldn't be around it. Music gave me an opportunity that humans didn't.
Mm, that's good.
That's good. Yeah.
Wow. Well, Marcus, first off, again, thank you for being on the show.
Oh,
Um,
I'm honored.
I, I really appreciate it. We all do.
Yeah.
And as you're speaking about music, they talk about the times where you hear music and it moves you, and then when you listen to the music and the words take you. And so, thank you for sharing that aspect with our
Well, for
viewers.
me, it was kind of different. For me, it was kind of
Mhm,
different. It was never the words for me because, again, I couldn't. I'm 41. I still can't hardly spell right. But you understand, even as a gospel rapper currently. But thank God for
mhm,
technology. But
mhm,
the thing is, it was always the melody and the harmonies for me. It was always the strings and the drums for me. It was always how the BPM came in. It was always how the kick came in. It was always how, when they was singing or rapping, where did their vocal tones flow with the melody and the harmonies that I was hearing? Because you have to understand, vocally, you have to be married to the beat first. You just can't pick a beat because you just can't put any shoe on your feet. Your shoes have to look right on both feet. So with music, your vocally, it has to sound right on both situations, the beat and your lyrics.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it all marries together, right? And that's why I started out talking about that silence. You know, in many ways, you were non-verbal, but it didn't mean that your mind wasn't working, you know.
Well,
And
come on now. You know, we come from black churches. We come from black families. So let's not cut the tea here. You know, my grandma instantly thought I had like 12 demons living inside of me. She thought I was a whole walking poltergeist. You understand what I'm saying? So when they
Mhm.
called her phone, she did the grandma stuff. She showed up at my school with the robes on, with the bonnet on, normal stuff. You understand what I'm saying? But it was only four people in my classroom. So we was taking field trips. Burger King, China buffets, Golden Corral, Orion's, for those who may not know, Piccadilly's. You understand what I'm saying? We was
Mhm.
taking field trips in the white van. You understand what I'm saying? So so the thing is, my grandma believed in praying it out and beating it out. Okay? We come from prayer and beating. That's where I come from.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, I think a lot of people can relate to what you're saying. Um, Marcus, we have a pledge for our viewers who are survivors. And I'm going to read through the pledge. And my question, and I'll repeat it after I read the pledge as well, is why do you believe this pledge is important? And so our pledge reads as follows. Today we pledge that we will not let survivors fight alone, that upon disclosing abuse, we will not only stand in the gap in prayer, but assist in resources. We will believe and guide them through the trauma and let them know they are not alone. Today, we stand up for every survivor whose voice shakes, telling their story. For survivors who choose to heal loudly because they had to be quiet for so long. When families and the justice system fails them, we will still uplift them and help them find their worth. We pledge today to continue our work and fight for survivors. And so, again, Marcus, why do you believe that this pledge is important for us?
Because just as people, just because when we wake up every day, we are surviving. We're surviving another day to, we may not got the paycheck we wanted. Our lights may got cut off. uh, We may not have food in the refrigerator. All those things are survival. It may not be domestic. It may not be like somebody's locking you in the closet room in the basement. It may be something simple as you had to survive wearing the same hairstyle for a week because you couldn't afford to get a new hairstyle until you got paid. The thing is, what we have to realize is that survival doesn't mean weakness. It's important to survive. We have no choice because our ancestors been doing this for generations. They've been surviving with nothing. It's about what you do with your nothing. Do you turn it into something or do you wallow because you have nothing?
Mm. Thanks.
Wow.
Absolutely. That's a word right there, right?
Right.
It
Um,
is.
because like you said, you have to think about it in various aspects, and there are things that we all have to survive through in life, and like you said, that's kind of a foundation of it, and what it looks like can vary from person to person. And so, Marcus, what are some encouraging words to go along with what you just said, that you could give to our viewers, someone who may be in a similar situation, who's struggling or hurting, or just can't seem to find a way out of their pain?
You first of all, somebody can tell you it's going to be okay. Just pray about it. Give it to God. Don't worry about it. Don't stress about it. Those are good Hallmark card quotes. Those are those are good Hallmark card quotes because you're going to do exactly what they told you not to do. You're
Right.
gonna
Right.
stress about it. You're gonna worry about it. You're gonna be mad a little. You may be mad at a little bit at God. You want to know what's going on. Why you going through this trial and tribulation?
Come
But what
on
I
now.
but what I will say to my brothers and sisters is a storm never lasts always. A storm, it bypasses. And most likely after a storm, you see a beautiful sunshine. You
Mm.
see a beautiful rays. Sometimes that God allows trials and tribulations to come in our life to test our faith, to test our determination, to test our willpower, and to test our belief in Him. Because it's Him that provides everything that we go through. It was him that allowed me to be raped. It was him that allowed me to do fellatio to my blood uncles. Why? Because it was him 30 something years later that allowed this movement in which I obtained because of him to happen. It would never, I would never be in the place that I'm at if it wasn't for the trials and tribulations that I went through. And again, we talking about escape, we talking about newness, we talking about brand newness. Then you have to go through something before you see the light. Because if you never went through nothing, then what advice can you give somebody else?
All right.
Come
That's
on now.
right. I could sit here and listen to you speak all day because that just motivated me. So thank you. So yes, you have to go through it to get through. And if you ain't never been through nothing, you can't give no advice. So that was the gist of what I got. So anybody listening, just remember what you're going through is not in vain. And as they said, okay now, Pastor Marcus, okay now, we hear you and we listen. So thank you so much for that.
Yes.
It's about
Yes.
an it's really about being an inspiration because a lot of kids and teenagers and adults who have autism, we are already shelved, we already pushed aside, we already cast out because we have issues or we may have challenges and we may look at the world in a different way, in a unique way. But that don't mean that we're not smart. That don't mean that we're not intelligent or gifted. That don't mean that we don't have goals and dreams and wants just because God blessed us to have autism. I wish more people would see autism as a blessing than as a curse. Because the same way that some people see autism as a curse is the same way they see African Americans as a curse. The same way they see change as a curse. The same way they see women voting as a curse. So at the end of the day, we are here and we're powerful. And one voice can't make a change, but many voices can make a strong fist.
Better.
Right.
Better. I
Right.
love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Yes. Whew. So with all of that being said, what's next for you? And if you needed, how can viewers reach out to you for additional questions or support?
What's next for me? Okay, so me and my queen are doing a children's book that's related to an autism family. It's called Autism Royalty: A Kingdom Story. It'll be out early part of 2025. I'm doing a new coloring book. It's called The Wayans Family, where you get to follow a whole family. It reminds you of a Cosby Show and a Family Matters in a coloring book sitcom form. So this would be the first of its kind where you'll be able to have a sitcom coloring book.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
then of course we working on the clothing line, Autism Royalty Clothing, which ARC, that's going to be out everywhere soon. And most importantly, I got to give a big shout out to Beast Mode Entertainment, Nas Pankey, Andrew McAllister, because they're doing the 2 hour feature film called The Marcus Boyd Story: Autistic State of Mind, which my queen came up with that title. But yeah, it'll be the first 2 hour feature film about a kid in the African American community because we don't get to see movies in the African American community that shows anything about autism. And again,
Yeah.
people say the movie Radio, but Radio had ID, which is intellectual disability. That's exactly what Radio had. So,
Mm-hmm.
but Radio didn't have autism. So there's never
Mm-hmm.
been a movie about autism, but it's about to be. So the Marcus Boyd story, the artistic state of mind, it will be coming out 2026. The trailer will be out in 2025. So, you know, more speaking engagements, more fighting for autism voices, more fighting for autism laws and rights and policies, changing the narrative for autism. And if anybody wants to talk to me about autism, anything autism related, or you just need encouragement, upliftment, or advice, call me at 601-994-3454. Again, it's 601-994-3454. I don't hide myself and I don't hide my number. Because at the end of the day, I don't do this for me. I do this for the millions of people who have autism that are voiceless, because we're all survivors.
Yes. Yes, thank you. I just appreciate it. So first of all, in the corner of the screen, we got a, new article. I mean, a cover. And can you tell us about the cover of this magazine that you're on?
Well, it's never been done before. This is history in the making for everybody, because you have to understand, I'm not trying to be funny, but there's no African Americans like that in the country of Italy. And
Wow.
they're definitely not putting an African American on a magazine cover. Not on a magazine, not on a major fashion magazine. That's in Italy. It's not happening. So what you see is is history. I am the first African American with autism to be on the cover of a major magazine in the country of Italy. Like I've been on the cover of a magazine in Zimbabwe, Africa. Like I've been on the cover of a magazine in London, UK. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, it's not about a disability. It's not about what we can't do. And I wish more people would hear this and understand this. Just because God allowed you to go to trials and tribulations, just because you're a survivor, just because you had to go through that horrific, hellish stuff that you went through, that don't mean that your life is over. That don't mean that you can't do something. That don't mean just because somebody said that you was worthless and nobody gonna love you, that to be true. You touch your greatness. You reach beyond your affinity, and you show these. The best way to get revenge on those hateful individuals is to become successful, because they got to watch you on every TV they go to. They can cut it off. They can cut their TV off. They can cut their computer off. But what they can't do is stop your success. So, to my people that hurt me, you see a seven magazine cover individual, a 8-time award winning individual, a 13-time music award winning individual. The same person that you said was retarded, the same person that you said was no good, the same person that you said nobody would love me or appreciate me. Look at me. The same person that you, when you raped me, the same person that you did all this stuff to. You see that magazine cover right there? You got to look at it.
Yes, I love it. I a true survivor of that, and I love it, and I appreciate everything. I appreciate your activism, and also if you didn't get that phone number, if you do email us at open letters to a survivor at gmail.com, we will forward all of those emails over to Marcus. Again, that is open letters to a survivor at gmail.com. In a subject line, just put autism activist and we'll get you over. And I'm pretty sure he'll be able to give you some advice, encouragement, whatever's needed. But you have given, first of all, an amazing word today. And we appreciate everything, and keep looking forward. We looking forward to this trailer. We gonna have you back on when that trailer hits so we
Oh,
can.
no, no, no! I'm coming to Cleveland. That's family. James. That's family. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming to Cleveland because my one of my first jobs was at my great uncle's funeral home, which is Boyd's Funeral Home on East St. Clair. So I'm coming to Cleveland. Like that. That ain't. I already told my big bro I'm coming. You know what I'm saying? Like we about to shut the city down. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
So
Well, let us know so we can be there to support you 100%.
listen. I'm proud of you, ladies. I'm proud of you, queens. Y'all are the voices of tomorrow. At the end of the day, it's a lot of foolishness that's being podcasted. You understand what I'm saying? But y'all are uplifting. Y'all are giving encouragement. Y'all are giving a voice to pain. Y'all are giving voice to, the ability to come from pain. Continue to be the kingdom warriors and kingdom minded queens that y'all are, because y'all not just affecting the local city, y'all not just affecting the local state of Ohio, y'all affecting nationwide.
yes.
So know that this is your purpose and God got something way bigger in store.
Ooh,
Ooh,
I
thank
received that.
you. Right.
Amen.
Amen. I receive. And you know what? Thank you for speaking on that, because this show was founded and created off the platform of mental and just telling stories that otherwise wouldn't be told in safe places. So that was the actual idea of the podcast, and I brought my two beautiful co-hosts on because not only have they experienced a lot of the same things, but they're survivors in their own rights as well. And when I brought the idea to James, it took 2 years, but we finally got it. And we like, we can't fear when God have a plan for us. So
Well, I
it,
better see y'all short film out there in the public for for months to come. You know what I'm saying? Even if y'all just do a 20-minute short film and speak on or document or reenact some of the survival that God allowed you to come from. See, a lot of us, what we do is we ask God for help, but we hide under the turtleneck. It's
mm,
stop. We got to stop hiding under the turtleneck. God blessed us to be even to see above the turtleneck. Now that we
Yeah.
come from the turtleneck, we don't want to let other people know that this happened to us. We hide and fold. We scared of what people may think. And guess what? I was scared too before I came on this interview. But at the end of the day, regardless if people don't like it, think Marcus is gay because he had to give his blood uncles fellatio and swallow their cum and whatever I had to do. At the end of the day, God was preparing me to be the leader, the motivator, and the person that I am today. Don't be
Yeah.
ashamed to show the world your scars. Don't be ashamed to show the world your scars. You are a survivor. You are the biggest thing the biggest title that God could ever give a person. You are a survivor. You are a walking legend. So live in your legacy.
mm.
See, I gotta stop talking. Sound like I'm preaching. I'm sorry.
Man, that's okay, Marcus, because I'm about to get up and run. Because you speaking my language right there.
Right. I'm telling you, because let me tell you. And so we normally have an encouraging word and a motivational minute. And is Tim on today for the motivational minute?
So you want me to do a motivational minute?
Yeah,
Um,
Timmy isn't here yet.
okay, so yes, you can do the motivational minute. We normally keep it between 3 to 5 minutes to motivate our guests into that, and that's normally taking us to church. So normally I say Tim, take us to church, but out today I'll say Marcus, take us to church.
At the end of the day, when you wake up tomorrow, when you kiss your husband, when you kiss your wife, when you get to hug your kids, be grateful. Be thankful that you get another day to make it right. Don't
Mm.
look if you've been through, if you got scars, if you got emotional scars, if you need to be healed or whatever, don't be ashamed to get God first and be your village. You are not alone in this fight. You are a survivor. You're a king. You're a queen. You're a princess, and you're a prince. And you can do anything when you put God first and your village second. At the end of the day, you hustle until they know your name. I believe in you. I support you, and I love everybody that may see this, watch this, or anything else. And if you ever need encouragement, if you ever need upliftment, or somebody just to say that you beautiful and you handsome, call me. Reach out to me. I'm gonna always have your back.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. So that was a word. So everybody listening today, if you need that encouragement, you got it. You got that village. God first, village second. And
Amen.
our platform, you didn't say this, but our platform, we believe in therapy. So therapy number two, and then the village. Okay. So you got
Amen.
the village
Amen.
and God and therapy. So we believe in that. Now, with that being said, uh, we're gonna take it to Kim for our spotlight. I mean, K Love. I'm sorry, for our spotlight and for our let's go to therapy segment. Marcus, again, we thank you so much for coming on. If you would like to stay to listen, you can. If not, we'll see you later. But we have to get to our let's go to therapy segment just to let people know in our communities it's okay to have God and a therapist and a village.
Amen. Listen, I love y'all. Tell my big brother I love him, man. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna talk soon. Thank you so much for allowing me, and thank you so much for allowing my spirit to be a part of your amazing platform.
Always,
Oh, thank
always. And you
you.
adopted into the Open Letters family, so we'll be reaching out to you soon.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
And we'll talk, Marcus. I appreciate you so much for coming on with the ladies.
You already know, big bro. Anything for you.
Thank you.
Mhm.
All right. Thank you so much. So, oh my God, that was so amazing. In our spotlight,
Yes.
we always want to talk about our brother Tim Stevens. He is still doing his launch December 17th, I believe is our date.
Yes.
And as always, you know me, It's a launch of his accessory lines, and it's called Righteous Brothers. Check it out today at right.brothers216 on Instagram. Look right, feel right, stay right. So if you want to put your business in our spotlight, please email us at openletterstoasurvivor@gmail.com. And then in the subject line, please put spotlight. We definitely would love to, speak about our different businesses in the community. So please, please, please spread the word and tell somebody to reach out to us so that we can definitely spotlight your business. And then let's go to therapy. Check out Belinda Williams with Cleveland Health and Wellness Center, specializing in trauma with our community. Please email to belinda@chawc.org. And also Dr. Shamara Hutchins with a flexible approach to therapy. She is serving our people who are experiencing all sorts of trauma. And she is the creator of the Melanated Minds Network. So look for a Mindologist on all social media platforms. Please reach out to her if you are in need of some type of therapy, because they specialize it according to your schedule. And again, to get on our Let's Go to Therapy segment, please email us at openletterstoasurvivor@gmail.com. And in the subject line, please put Let's Go to Therapy. Sister Cassandra, what you got for us?
So we are asking for your support for sponsorship. And so we're saying for you to be a catalyst for change. Your sponsorship of Open Letters to a Survivor will enable us to provide crucial mental health resources and support to people in communities of color. Help us bridge the gap and create a future where those who need support have access to the care they need. To become a sponsor, email us at openletterstoasurvivor@gmail.com, and in the subject line, put sponsor.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, Marcus left us with a good word, but our resident pastor is currently on. So, as it goes, Tim, we want to ask you to give a motivational minute. I don't know if you could follow up after what Marcus left us with, but I'm just messing with you, Tim. You know it's not a normal week if I don't. But thank you so much. And as again, this is our Survivor Story segment. So go ahead with the motivational minute. Take us away, Tim.
How's everybody doing?
Good.
Good.
Didn't expect to be on this so soon, but tonight's motivational minute is pretty much knowing that you are important, you are somebody, you are beautiful, you are important, you are intelligent, you're a king. I remember there's an old song that says there's a king in you, and that's something that's very important to know, because throughout our daily journeys, throughout our daily lives, we ought to always know that we are part of God's masterpiece. As Paul was talking to to the church in Ephesus in Ephesians, I believe it's in the third or the fourth chapter. I'm sorry, I don't have my Bible on me right now. But it's within the third or fourth chapter, he was talking about you are part of God's masterpiece. You are somebody. You are intelligent. You are important. God put everything in you that is supposed to be. Jesus put you on this earth for a purpose and a reason. It's up to you to know what that purpose is and apply that purpose within your daily life. I remember earlier today, my pastor, as he made his way back to the pulpit today, the message was, is there anything too hard for God? And the answer, as us believers, ought to be nothing. Just place it in God's hands and allow God to do the rest. You got to do your part as well. Continually pray, continually be bold within your prayers, but remain faithful and hold on to God's promises. God's promises is something that the Lord He will never let no one else come in between His promises He has for you. Whatever it is for you, it's for you. Continually know that you are a part of God's masterpiece. You are somebody. You are intelligent. You are important. You are beautiful. Continually know that. Continually hold on to what God has in store for you. Allow Jesus Do the rest. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not to your own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. But always remember, you are somebody. Tell yourself in the mirror each and every day, thank the Lord for a new day, and say, I am somebody. Thank the Lord for what you have. Don't dwell on what you don't have. Pay attention to what you do have. And God will restore, support, and strengthen you. And he'll take you into a place you'll never think you can go. Put your trust in him. Lay it in his hands. And God will direct your path. God bless you. God keep you.
Thank you so much, Tim. We love the motivational minute. So, we just appreciate it every week. That ending the show with the motivational minute is the right thing to do because it leaves everybody with that motivation to keep going.
Yep, we gotta keep going. I'm glad I was able to be on. I was on for a little bit a few minutes ago, but I got bumped off. But I'm glad I was able to come back on.
Okay, well, thank you so much. So this is Survivor Stories Month, so we love to keep going with the motivation to survivors. So we just want to end it on that note. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. Thank you to my wonderful co-hosts, Cassandra and K-Love. Y'all my right and left hand. Tim, I thank you so much for everything you do. Always
You're
bring
welcome.
the word. And to our moderator, James, to the best moderator, the best producer, the best everything on this side of heaven. We appreciate you. So thank you. And we will see you next week.